Hello everyone and welcome to a channel update. I was actually going to save this until probably Sunday, but I actually don't have a lot of time to actually do any real recording tonight. That's why there's no Trails of Cold Steel. But we do get a channel update. Yay, channel update, right? So there is a lot going on and there is a lot coming. I guess I'll start off with the channel update and we'll go to the nasty stuff later. Trails of Cold Steel, I'm thinking it's going good. People seem to like the series. I love the game. I don't know how far I am in the game. I probably passed the halfway mark if I had to guess, due to how long I've been playing the game. But it's going alright. I mean, I think it's going pretty good. After it ends, whenever that is going to be, I'm assuming sometime next month, maybe. Persona 4 not Golden. Yeah, we're gonna redo Persona 4 Golden. Persona 4 Arena is gonna start. I figure I should be able to knock off the story modes, both 1 and 2, just as in a series, like one after another. I'm not sure how long it is. I'm not assuming it is that long, as there are fighting games, which should be interesting because I am bad at fighting games for the most part. But yeah, it shouldn't take too long. I think story-wise, it is a little longer than the average fighting game from what I heard, but it'll be fine. We'll be fine. I mean, I just did like an 80-hour-long strategy game, so it will be fine. Speaking of 80-hour-long strategy game, Fire Emblem is coming to a close Saturday. I think it's Saturday. It's not the end of Fire Emblem. We are gonna have more Fire Emblem content on the channel. It won't be like what I've been doing though. Initially, when we reached the point where I was gonna split, I was like, okay, when this ends, we'll come back here and we'll do like a separate series where, you know, I'll mark this side with like, can't really say anymore because it's kind of spoilery, so I don't want to, but we'll mark it with a different letter going forward from there. And kind of reaching the end of this route, I was like, it probably is just better to stream it. Get like live interactions from people, and since it's on normal, it's kind of on the easy side, so I don't want to, you know, draw it out too much. So yeah, we'll likely stream Fire Emblem's like different routes going forward, you know, whenever I get a chance. We'll talk a little bit more on that in the future. So that means, you know, the second slot of the day that I usually upload is free, kind of. But right now, initially I was going to do a community poll, but with the changes coming to YouTube, I need to take some time to do some stuff on my end to make sure I don't get fined a couple $1,000s. We'll talk about that in the near future. But it's going to take me some time. I got a lot of videos, and unfortunately, it's mandatory that I do this. Not just for my channel, but for my well-being as well. And, well, so it's going to be a little while before we have another community poll. I kind of figured Pokemon was going to win the next community poll anyways, which is fine by me because I want to play the game. I love Pokemon, but it's going to be a little bit of time before the community poll actually happens. That being said, Pokemon probably won't be on the list when that community poll comes out, which we'll go into detail a little bit later. But yeah, it's gonna be a little while before we actually get another series starting in Fire Emblem's place. You'll know, I'll do another community poll when it happens, and I might even make another update video just to go over the stuff again. But yeah, just feel free to recommend any other games to appear on the community poll. I already have a bunch of lists from viewers in the past that I'm gonna pull from. I usually do like a couple games that I want to play that are new or maybe just old and I missed them, and I'll pull from the list of games that you all have suggested, and I'll do ones that look like they might be interesting for me to play. Sometimes I will Google, if I've never heard of the game before, I will like look up the game just to see what the hell's going on with it, so I don't get kind of tricked into doing something that might not come across good. But yeah, there'll be another one. Just feel free to leave some suggestions below. Final Fantasy, it's going strong. We're actually near the end of Final Fantasy VII. We got a few more story beats to go through, and then the final dungeon. There's a lot of side quest stuff that needs to be done as well. I'm actually done with most of the side quest stuff, with a few exceptions. And then there's just like a big-ass dungeon and a couple final scenes, and a couple final dungeons, actually. And then we're good to go from there. But after that, there's going to be a Patreon series. And so if you're a patron over at patreon.com/ChronosPlays, feel free to keep an eye out for me posting over there about a poll that's going to come up in the near future. And we'll have another Patreon series like that. Last one was Valkyria Chronicles, which was really fun. And hopefully the next one that's voted on is really fun as well. I still plan on finishing up XCOM. I know it's been missing on streams the last few, well, weeks since Extra Life. But unfortunately, life finds a way of taking my time, which is annoying, but it's just how it is. So I did mention some changes that I have to make on my end due to some changes coming to YouTube. You probably have heard of it by now. It's COPPA, C-O-P-P-A. I think that's how you pronounce it. It is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. Woo! Regulation. This isn't actually new at all. This has been around since 1998. And unfortunately, YouTube didn't really comply with it forever. And they just ended up having to pay like a $140 million fine to the FTC. And in addition to that, they had to make their website compliant, which kind of screws all the content creators, especially those that made content towards children. So yeah, going forward, content creators have to mark their videos whether or not they made it with the intent of having children viewers or not. It's two options. Oh, there's three options. Well, no, there's two options. There's this video. Yes, this video is intended for children. No, this video is not intended for children. There's also like a channel default option where you can do it per video when you upload it. Now, I don't make my videos with the intent of having like children viewers or having like drawing in child viewers. I know they're a huge demographic on YouTube, or they were a huge demographic on YouTube. That's where the big bucks were. Not anymore. Yeah. So any video that I have uploaded in the past that might be considered aimed towards children, Kingdom Hearts, Pokemon, Mario, Mega Man, Digimon, even though the games are rated T, there's a couple of Final Fantasies that are rated E that I'm just going to mark for those reasons alone. I have to go through every single one of those videos and hand select them as viewed for children. What happens when you select a video as intended for children? I think I said viewed for children a second ago, whatever. What happens when you mark video as intended for children? The comment section gets removed. It's no longer searchable in YouTube. Like, you can't search, like, Let's Play Digimon Chronos Plays. That it will no longer appear there. I haven't marked them yet, so it will now, but when I mark them, they won't. It will not be recommended or suggested in the sidebars anymore. The ads will no longer be targeted, meaning it won't get really that many ads anymore, and I think my network said that revenue would drop probably 60 to 90%, depending on their numbers. I don't know the numbers for it, but it's bad. They're older videos, so they're not really generating that much anyways, but still, it's kind of shitty to think about. I think that's it. I think that's all that will happen to the video. It's not good. So you can imagine if someone makes like toy review videos or something like that, their channel's pretty much dead right now, unless they change up how they do it and stop doing toy reviews or something like that. It's a huge change. It's bad. It's not good. Sadly, it's something that should have been here to begin with, kind of, in some regard, or in actually any regard, because it probably would have been like a slap on the wrist compared to what actually happened with YouTube if YouTube at least had attempted to be compliant with the regulation. And it's not like they didn't have a chance. This thing was here since 1998. It's older than YouTube, for Christ's sakes. So yeah, woohoo. Now the other option is not intended for children, and that's most of my videos, thankfully. There are some that might be misinterpreted as some intended for children. I'll just probably mark those anyways, like the extra life streams. Anything overly cartoony, like, I don't want to, but like, I don't know, like Trails in the Sky is kind of cartoony, so I might need to mark that. Final Fantasy 5 and 6, they're definitely not made for children, but they have cute, flashy graphics, and according to like the COPPA, like regulation stuff, that might qualify. I'm gonna look into it a little bit more. The rules are vague, like very extremely vague. That's why a lot of people are freaking out about it. And it's kind of rightly so, but some people are really going overboard with the fair, and I don't want to fan the flames of fair. It is bad, but we'll be fine. I'm not going anywhere. There are some changes that need to happen, obviously, and I might stream more on Twitch in the near future. Like, I was mentioning that time slot for Fire Emblem earlier. Maybe I use the time I used to record something like that to stream a little bit more, to try and build an audience over there. I don't know yet. I really don't. I'm trying not to get freaked out about it. I'm just gonna try to do my best to make sure my channel is compliant with the changes and protect my butt as much as possible and still be able to do what I do here. Every series I'm doing right now is not really geared towards kids, so I don't really have to worry too much about that. There is the question about Pokemon. That would probably be streamed on Twitch in the future. Definitely in the future. I want to play that game, goddammit. Yeah, it's worrying, but you know, change happens all the time. If you can go with the change, you'll be fine. Sometimes change involves maybe switching up a little bit, maybe doing less recorded stuff and more streaming stuff on Twitch. I don't know. My content really isn't really made for Twitch for the most part. But even then, I don't do that many kid-related videos, right? So even if I do like the occasional one series where it's like rated E for everyone, it's a little bit of revenue loss. Whatever. It sucks, but whatever. You won't be able to comment on it either. You might not even know it's there if you don't get the notifications. But I guess I can share out the videos more. I can pimp my Patreon more, or hey, if you get those Twitch Primes or YouTube memberships, go for it, dogs. But I don't know. It's just not me, and I don't want it to become me. But at the same time, change has to happen, right? I don't think I have anything else I really want to talk about. If you have any questions, feel free to post them down below. Actually, you know what? Post all the questions. It doesn't matter if that has to do anything with like COPPA, with channel, whatever questions. I'll do a Q&A. If I get more than like 15 questions, how about that? If I do more than 15 questions, I'll do a goddamn Q&A. It might even be live. I might have to mark it for children so no one will be able to see it, but no. We'll do it before the changes go into effect, if that's going to be the case. But yeah, leave me your questions. We'll do a Q&A, and maybe we'll be live. We'll just have to pick a time. Or depending on the questions, like if it's going to require a lot of thought on my end. I don't know, guys. Just keep calm and carry on, I guess, right? It'll be fine. It will. It might be bumpy for a little while, but it will be fine. Just, yeah. Talk to you later. See you in the next, video. Have a great weekend.